And welcome to the Almost Daily Dave, August 4th, 2020 edition. I'm Dave Lamont. This is, of course, the mini-me version. This is the 6-inch sandwich version of the Nooner with Dave, which was yesterday and will be on Friday right here on whatever you're watching, be it on YouTube, or you can subscribe, or on Facebook Live. And I appreciate that. Also, my Twitter handle is right over here by this ear. Derek Jeter, the CEO of your Miami Marlins, has spoken about what his guys were doing that led to the COVID-19 outbreak that sidelined the team for a week. They're back tonight against Baltimore. So according to Jeter, it's not nearly as untoward or exciting as you think. He admits that guys broke protocol. According to Jeter, one player went to a teammate's home for dinner. Other guys went to get clothes or coffee or just went out for food. It wasn't, and I don't think it was Lou Williams' lemon pepper wings at the club. But whatever it was, it broke protocol, and it was a massive screw-up. Now, I'm not blaming Jeter for that, but he's come out with their version. A week ago or so, when it was first reported, I believe by NBCSports.com, the guys had gone out. Naturally, we assumed the worst because that's what we do. And just like with Cespedes the other day, we assumed the worst until you find out the facts are not as exciting as the worst. I have no reason to argue with Derek Jeter. The New York media, of course, is buying it because it's Derek Jeter. To paraphrase something that Donald Trump once said, if I walked down Fifth Avenue and shot and killed somebody, it wouldn't hurt my popularity. And I know I'm paraphrasing. The same thing would happen in New York with Derek Jeter. As a matter of fact, the headlines would go, "Great shot, Captain." And there would be all these fawning columns about how nobody can shoot a gun on Fifth Avenue better than the Yankee captain. I get it. They fawn over him in New York. I understand that. He comes down here, though, as the boss of a franchise that has fans that are deeply cynical. And I know you're saying, you mean Yankees fans aren't? No, not like this. Because this is a franchise that's really still young, with 2 World Series titles in 1 decade, and so much disdain toward it from its own fans and its own territory that it's unbelievable because of what has happened after those titles. The infamous comment from the late Wayne Huizenga, the first owner of the Marlins, who, when asked about trying to repeat in 1994 following their 93 World Series win, just simply said, "Enjoy the moment." And sure enough, that team was stripped down to the barest of bare parts. And yet somehow a few years later, they win again in 97. And then here comes another sell-off. Baseball purists hate this franchise. Bob Costas, who's not even dead yet, is still spinning in his grave. So there's a little hard-bitten cynicism here is what I'm trying to say. But in this case, we have to give Jeter the benefit of the doubt. We don't have any evidence otherwise unless you yourself was out partying with these guys. And if that's the case, I hope you didn't get sick. Unlike the Rutgers football program, 28 positive tests among that program. I do not believe they're all players. This just broke a few minutes ago. 28. Now, what do you think the source was for that? Well, according to Yahoo Sports, it was a party. That's right. A bunch of athletes went to a party. I know. Just color in whatever punchline you'd like to about stupid. And please, I have college-age children. I don't need to be told that they're capable of dumb. But this is a different level of dumb during the pandemic to do this sort of thing. So just another little shot to the solar plexus for the hopes of college football being played in any form at all in 2020. I'm not sure. And by the way, people ask me, I don't have any clue. If we're having college, if we're having the NFL, you're noticing now that more players and the pros and even college are starting to bite back a little bit at leadership. Like, you want me to do what? What are you going to do to protect me? The fans didn't come to see you own the team. They came to see me and my teammates play. So what are you going to do for us? What can you do to make our lives safer so we can play, so we can do our job, so we can do what you hired us to do? That mystery is still not solved. And for whatever little victories you might get, there might be some big losses ahead, and I mean for sports. Meantime, NHL, Zippo test, and they're skating on. MLS, Zippo positive test. They're moving on, and the NBA is off to a very good start in that regard. far as we know, guys are holding to the protocol. And there's spies out there, as we talked about before. There are people who were noticing. So if somebody sneaks out, they're going to find out. The NBA will learn. And maybe it's already happened, and we're finding out about that internally. Speaking of the NBA, I'm going to leave you with this. Yesterday, during the Heat-Toronto game, there was a flagrant foul called. 92-92 is the score. It's against the Heat. 2 free throws made. The ball. Toronto scores. 96-92. Heat never get the lead. They lose. Today, the NBA says, yeah, maybe we shouldn't have done that. The referee, there's 3, but there's only, out of the 3 officials, there's one guy who's designated as was the lead official that night. And he's reviewed the whole thing and says, yeah, that looked like a basketball play. Shouldn't have been a foul. So maybe you get foul out of that. Maybe you don't. You get the 2 free throws, but at least Miami gets the ball. Or there's no foul at all. And it's 92-92. Even if the free throws are made, Miami gets the ball back and has a chance to score, to take the lead potentially, or at least score to tie the game. At least they have a chance. Now, I'm not going to be crazy enough to tell you that's the only reason they lost the game, but it didn't help. Friday, I want to talk about whether I think this is a good idea for the NBA to admit its officiating mistakes or not. But for today, I'm out of time. This has been your Tuesday edition of the Almost Daily Dave. Please subscribe for free on YouTube. Just look up my name. It's right there, and it should have all these weird faces I make right before I go on the air. It's actually kind of an interesting gallery of really awkward faces for somebody who should know how to look before he goes on camera, but frequently fails. Until tomorrow, I'm Dave Lamont. I will see you, the Almost Daily Dave, on August 5th.